So I'm Erin Delaney. I'm in Sarasota, Florida, and I started working with you, Kelly, in PelviBiz in, I believe, 2022. I met you. And if you hear my kids in the background too,
That's
sorry,
fine.
just trying to get in the door. So I started my business cold turkey. I quit my job. I was very new to pelvic floor therapy as well. So Kelly not only mentored me in business, but she mentored me in as like a pelvic therapist, which I took, to be invaluable. So I got multiple mentorship from you. And what started off as, jumping off a cliff, basically, I found out I was pregnant the same month that I started my business and I did not have any clients. So I look back at my first month and I made $1,500 my first month. And then it bumped up to 5,000. I was mobile. I was traveling to people's homes. I wasn't renting anywhere. I was doing the things. I was trying to do anything to get patients because if you don't work, you don't get an income. And now I'm pregnant and I don't have any anything to fall back on. But in the back of my head, your voice was always there. Your encouragement was always there. Your motivation was always there. And then we had a team and a group of people to lean on, which I think really helped me get through it. So as I started to get momentum, hurricanes hit, lost momentum, lost patience. People put pelvic floor therapy in the background, and I lost a lot of business, and I felt like I had to start over. Then I had the baby, and I went on maternity leave, and then I felt like I had to start over. More hurricanes hit, and you feel like you have to start. So there was just a lot of pauses. I felt like in business that was an easy time to say, "This is too difficult. I don't want to do it," or "This is too much effort having to go back and try to get patients again, going back to, gyms and can I do more workshops with you guys? Where else can I go?" So you and I had a few talks of like,
Yeah.
where else can you exhaust? Have you gone to coffee shops? I was like, why would I go to a coffee shop? So I was like, no, I didn't go to a coffee shop. But it was just something that didn't dawn on me at the time until you had said something like, did you go out of your comfort
Right.
zone? Did you make an impression on these people? So not only did I do that, I had to stand out of my comfort zone. And that was something that was challenging and scary. And, wearing a vulva costume, I didn't think I'd do
Right.
that. My mom was appalled. And then by the end of the event, my mom was wearing it dancing. So people like warm up to the idea. It's just like, how can I make this fun and enticing? And now word of mouth has been incredible. I mean, the reviews have been incredible. Now people see the benefit to a cash-based practice. And I feel like I don't have to talk people into
Yeah.
therapy. I've overcome a money bias that I had myself. I had a very poor money mindset. I was very uncomfortable speaking on prices and upping my prices as you strongly encouraged me to do. That was scary as well. So there's a lot of not only hoops that I had to jump through professionally, but I think personally in my story, I had to keep overcoming these self-doubts and confidence issues, and it's been the most empowering thing that I've ever done, and not only changed my life, it changed my family's life.
Yeah, and I can so speak to that too with Erin's story, guys. When Erin and I first met, she's like, Kelly, I'm in Florida. Everyone has Medicare. No one's going to want to pay cash. I don't know if you remember this, but this is a big belief you had. And then she was just like, yeah, I don't want to increase my prices. And then the hurricane came in and basically almost took her out. And I was like, Erin, today we're going to go outside and help people chop up the wood. And you're going to, and I was like, we got to bring water to people. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, this is what we're going to go do. We got to help the community out. Natalie's on. She knows. Natalie's in Florida too. She just so experienced with, the Tampa stuff. So, you know, it's like, and then she was pregnant, and then we had to find her someone for maternity leave. And they were like, what are you gonna do with your patients? I still needed Erin to get paid on maternity leave. How are we gonna handle that? What are you gonna do with space? Right? Like all that stuff kept coming up. And the coolest thing about Erin is she just didn't stop. She was like, I think I'm going to. I was like, no, you're not. Let's go. Let's go. And she just kept coming back. She had like 9 lives, and it just kept coming back and kept coming back. And I just was like, wow. Like when, shitty stuff is dealt with you, she just wouldn't let it take her out. And she didn't. And this is now, she's just had her second baby, guys. And, she's continuing to thrive in her clinic when she's going through all this. And it's just been amazing to see on the back end of it all. And she's like a TikTok star. Okay, by the way, if you don't follow her, by the way, on TikTok, she knows how to pop it. Okay, she knows how to dance. And she's like a guru on TikTok and all these followers. And it's like, okay, how do we capitalize on that? How do we then also capitalize on in person? And hitting both of those markets, I think, is huge. So, yeah, I think I still remember the time when Erin got on the phone with me and she was in her bedroom with this bed behind her and just her desk. And she's like, I think I'm going to quit my job. She's like, I don't even know how to do an internal exam, Kelly. And I was like, no problem. I'll be down in Florida in like 3 months and you can do a rectal exam on me. I was like, Erin, come to the hotel. She comes and does a rectal exam on me. I was like, whatever we got to do to build your confidence, I was like, let's do it. And so, remember
I
that?
do remember that very well. I remember that because I was like, really? And you're like, why not? My favorite word that you've ever told is pivot. Like, how do you pivot?
Pivot.
Pivot, pivot. Aaron, where are you? Pivot. Aaron, figure something else out. Do something else. I'm like, okay. It just never
Yep.
dawned on me. So without the guidance, I don't think I would have been as creative to come up with a lot of the things. So, your mentorship's been pivotal.
Yeah, no, it's been super fun. It's been amazing. So, um, super cool. Erin, anything else you want to share or anything else you
No,
want to say?
I think that's me in a
Okay.
nutshell.
No, I love it. That's 100% you in a nutshell. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Yeah. All right, Aprana, you want to share?